Okay.
All right. So thanks for joining us. I'm Hanniz. I'm from Best Events Productions. I'm just doing this because I think we need a little bit of a human interaction when most of us are under the movement control order.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, every end of Mondays, I try to do a little tête-à-tête, which is more like a one-to-one conversations with people that I know. And people I don't know, maybe later on, but it's easier with people I know. So I'm going to introduce the three of you who made time to join me today.
Uh-huh.
So the emerging technologies are being deployed across Asia to help combat the COVID-19 pandemic. So from Singapore to South Korea to China, technology is being used by governments around the world to track and contain the coronavirus outbreak, some more than others. So today, we have Dr. Sai Omar. He's experienced in the unmanned aerial vehicles industry. He's been in the industry since 2012. He saw great opportunity in the UAS-based data gathering and management solutions. So he took on the challenge of establishing Melvisense Sunya Berhad since 2016. So since then, he's gotten himself involved in various distinct UAS-based data acquisitions and data management projects. We also have Mr. Norazmi Abbas. He is the Public Relations and Corporate Communications liaison of the Doctors and Design Engineers Against COVID-19 Malaysia, which is the DDEC 19MY for short.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to elaborate on his topic later because he's doing a lot of work, and I think we need people like him around to guide us through this pandemic. And lastly, and but not least, we have Mr. Lee Ismail. So he's always been fascinated with drone applications from package delivery to life-saving solutions. He started off with facilities management, and then he introduced drone-based technology in his business so that he could advocate risk prevention, cost saving, sustainability, innovation. All right, so today I'm going to start off with asking Dr. Said the question. So, you have been deploying your drones to assist our local authorities in the past few weeks. What were the preparations involved on your end, and what were the challenges faced?
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good evening. Salam.
I think everybody is like anxious and already like very, very hard up already staying at home. You know, so this session should be a good session that we can actually interact with each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Come back to your question. I have been doing so on a CSR basis since day one of the MCO
Mhm.
with various authorities in Malaysia, namely the armed forces, the fire brigade, and then also a little bit in the police. All
Okay.
right. When you ask me about the preparation that we have done, none have done. We haven't. We didn't have any preparation towards this MCO at all.
Okay.
But it so happened that when the MCO come, uh, we were called to not what I mean here, not call as in phone call. We
Yeah.
are called to actually contribute what we can. Uh, Number one, to ensure that the MCO is abide to properly, and then secondly, it comes to the what do you call this? Trying to mitigate source of infection through sanitizing.
Mm.
Mm.
So what we did in Marvel Sense was we prepared our aircraft, uh, the sprayers, the monitoring drones, and everything, so that we can help the authority to actually ensure what we envision with the MCO can be achieved.
Mhm.
Right. So we have done our job with the mostly with the armed forces. uh, in monitoring what do you call this MCO, so that people do stay at home,
Yeah.
and if they are out from their house, that they are doing the thing that they really need to do, and then
Essential.
on top of that, to actually maintain the social distance that is required.
Mm.
All
So
right.
your drones basically with attached with, of course, the camera is there, right?
Yep.
And you have the loudspeakers as well
Correct.
to announce and to chase people
Correct.
away. Okay.
Yeah, to actually warn them, to actually make them realize that they are not doing the correct thing today. And we also deploy a drone which have the thermal cameras with radiometric what do you call this capabilities, which what do you call that, you can actually scan the temperature
Mm.
of the people, but as you know, because we are scanning from a distance, so the temperature is not 100% correct,
Yeah.
but it is somehow or other is an indication that somebody is actually above 37 or below 37, that they need to be at home, or they need to watch themselves or something like that. All right,
So basically,
so when
you track them, and then the authorities will actually go after them and pull them aside. Is that the process?
actually what happened was we fly, and we actually locate if there is any people outside, wandering, gathering, or anything, something like that. That is the first thing that we need to do. So from then onwards, if let's say we need that intervention is need, it's not for us to actually enforce the MCO anymore at that point of time. Of course, the
Right.
authority will actually engage these people. So when they engage, sometimes they do use the thermal camera to check.
I see.
All right. From far, it is not that effective.
What's
The
the
thermal
what's
camera.
the usual distance?
Uh, I think that the question shouldn't be the usual distance, because
Okay.
the best is actually for you to touch, right? That is the most accurate one.
Okay.
But if you can be about 1 meter from the person, it's going to be more accurate.
Right.
All right. And then
Okay.
with the what do you call this, fire brigade, we are helping them in sanitizing.
Mm-hmm.
When they do the sanitizing together with Alam Flora, and also the uh, local authorities,
Mm-hmm.
right? When they do sanitizing in certain area, like we have done it in Sungai Loy, we've done it in Sungai Ramal, we did it in Seremban. So our job is more towards the open area, where the chemical or the disinfectant can actually touch areas where we need it to be. For
Big.
example, children playgrounds, and then some railings on the roadside or something like
Okay.
that. You know,
Where people usually gather, I suppose.
uh, yeah, where people usually gather and they touch.
Hmm.
You know, so it has been that so far.
Okay.
Uh,
And
in that,
how else do you see drones being used during the quarantine? I mean, besides now you're using it for surveillance, and you're using it for sanitization. Is there any other ways of using drones, medicine drops, and all that?
yeah, I think a lot of people came up with the idea of transporting goods, uh, be it samples, be it medicine or medical equipments, or even food in this kind of situation. I read somewhere that there's a company which already acquire what do you call this permit to fly and deliver goods within Cyberjaya, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
within 4 kilometer radius, which I think that is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And I know there is a team who already tried to transport COVID-19 sample from remote areas. As we know today, I'm not very sure about this, but I think as we know today, the lab where they do the test is actually there's only like in Ipoh,
Mm-hmm.
Sungai Buloh, Johor Bahru, Kota Baru, and Kota Kinabalu.
Right.
So the what do you call this? The samples need to be transported from wherever they are to these labs.
Yes.
So maybe somebody has seen that the most efficient way to transport these samples is actually through the drones.
It's the
But of course,
fastest
we
without
have.
traffic.
I can say yes, fastest. Maybe fastest, and then also the most what they call this safe towards human, because there will be no human intervention in between. You know, when let's say you transport a sample from Kanga Perlis to Ipoh, it will take about 4 hours or 5 hours by road.
Yeah.
So there will be human being in there transporting the samples, and then you risk yourself towards accident, road traffic accident, and everything. At that point of time, the sample might might be exposed or anything, something like that.
Okay.
So these are the ideas that people come up with. In fact, I think the best is actually to see what other countries that has gone through this uh,
Like South
and
Africa. Yeah. South Africa
yeah,
is already doing a lot of drops, medical
yeah,
drops. Test samples, I'm not sure. China, maybe they could be exploring that, right? Because they are
yeah.
also pretty much technology driven. Okay,
But I
so
believe we are different from South Africa altogether, because South Africa, it is very very viable for them to do that, because the aircraft will actually be traveling along deserts, and
landscapes
maybe
are visible.
the landscape, yeah, the terrain that the aircraft actually travels is different. For us,
Mm,
we have tall buildings, pylons, and everything
yeah,
that need to be addressed to before we actually can do it. So this
yeah.
is the challenges that we face, I think.
Okay. So we'll move to Mr. Norazmi because
Yeah.
we mentioned test samples, which is
Yep.
something that you're working on, and maybe you'd like
Yeah.
to introduce us to um, what you what are the factors that are holding back the pace of innovation in emerging digital technologies.
All right. Thank you, Hanniz, Dr. Syed,
Yep.
Mr. Lee. It's a pleasure to be here. I must say we should applaud the effort that Hanniz has put forth to have this type of interactions and conversation. First off, let me introduce, before I answer Haniz's specific question, let me introduce
Okay.
a little bit about what I represent. I,
Sure.
as Hanniz has indicated, I wear many hats. So on this particular interview, I'm wearing DDEC 19 Malaysia hats.
Yeah.
We are a fairly new group of volunteers. There were 110 of us, including, for example, Dr. Aid Fauzal, Fawaz number, the Malaysians that is based in UK that now have his own formula in the physics world. That's Dr. Aid. Then we have a few corporates company backing us up. For example, Cerberdynamic, Air Asia, SCS Consultancy Services. So these people are backing us up, bending us everything together. We have engineers from Proton group up together and try to identify how can the backliners help the frontliners in the battle against COVID-19.
Okay.
So we went through an extensive debate, and we found out that the key issue is about public mass screening. That's the biggest issue, and that's exactly how South Korean addresses the issues. Let me give you a quick statistics. South Koreans have 51 million populations in terms of population. In up to 7 of April, there are 460,000 what we call it targeted subject being tested. That's 0.9% of the population, whereas 10% had been detected to be positive COVID-19, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from that's 2.2% from the sample test. And then from there, there's 186 death. That is around 1.8% of the samples. Looking from this particular statistics, you will see that the death toll in South Korea is bigger than Malaysia. Malaysia is around 63 up to 7 of April in terms of statistics. But if you look from statistical point of view, Malaysian population is 32 billion.
Uh-huh.
Number of currently being tested is only 56,000. That's 0.17 population
All right.
percentage, right? In
Okay.
comparison to South Korea. And then
Mm-hmm.
positive is 3,793 cases. While as we speak, we still have those pending results not yet delivered, whether it's positive or negative. So there is a risk of close contacts. Mortality rate is at 1.6%, 63 deaths, and positive cases is 3,793. That's 6.8%. So if you look from that statistics, because the practice that Malaysians are doing now, the government are doing now, or state agencies are doing now, the Ministry of Health, is targeted testing, PCR
Right.
testing. So
Right.
when you do targeted testing, the statistics goes higher. So this is the cause why we need to extend the MCO. That's from one
Yes.
perspective. Now,
Okay.
going to the question that Hanniz highlighted with regards to what actually holds back the pace of innovation, is actually crisis.
Mm.
The keyword would be crisis. I take my own group of volunteers an example. This initiative is not mine, it's ours. It's
Yeah.
for the nation. We are doing this pro bono. So imagine this, we debated for 3 days, looking from many angles, psychological, medicals, engineerings, and everything. Then we start building up the concept in the next 3 days. And as we speak, we were with some sort of stakeholders engagement session with Hospital Chancellor Tunku Mukris, or Hospital University Kebangsaan Malaysia 10 days back,
Mm-hmm.
whereby the YB, what we call it, Datuk Dr. Norani, the Minister of Higher Education were present looking at our 3D printed representation of coronavirus mobile test unit or combat. Then
Right.
tomorrow, we will show YB Datuk Dr. Noraini, the Minister of Higher Learnings or Higher Education, the real unit, the real prototype unit, and all of these are being accomplished in 10 days,
It's
virtually.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an example that what actually Malaysians can do. It's not only
And
the South
bringing
Korean,
things together.
or yes, the Turkish or the Japanese. We can even do this. I mean, you can see the real example, the real life unit of combat in validation tomorrow in
Mm.
hospital UITM. So that's why I said the first keyword is crisis. It's all about problem solving.
But
So
that wouldn't be, I guess that wouldn't really be the something that holds you back. It actually pushes you forward, right?
yes, yes. I mean, there's always two sides of the coins. If we look at the negativity part, yes, they will keep us they will keep us inside. But if you look at every situation as an opportunity, like what we did for COVID-19. Yes, we have enough rest for 14 days, but we get bored. I'm not a person that would like to just stay still. Then
Yeah.
start asking around, start debating how can we help the government, etc. How can we help the frontliners? You hear all those posting, all those writings about negativity of COVID-19. We look at the challenges that the frontliners are facing. I came across this posting in Facebook. The police, the army is having these black lines because of face shield impact. What are we
Oh,
doing back at home? We are still complaining. We are still having issues. We still say that we are not comfortable, like feeling in prison. While this gentleman, this frontliners, is battling COVID-19 there at
yeah.
site. So how
Yeah.
can we help? The question is, how do we help? So this is where DDEC 19 Malaysia comes into play to help
Mm-hmm.
the frontliners in this battle against COVID-19. So there we go. We start with this first flagship initiative of combat that is now gaining traction. It is auto disinfected. It is an
Mm-hmm.
auto door opening. It comes with negative pressures, and each combat comes with satellite communications. Why? Because at the end of the day, you need to have a real live data of what's actually happening on the ground. For
Yeah.
that, so we can public via apps a heat map. So
Mm-hmm.
me, Hanniz, Dr. Syed, and Mr. Lee will be able to avoid those concentrated heat zones.
Yeah.
So these are how we are looking at it. By doing this, we hope that we can help the government in making decisions after 20th of April, so that there is no need to do any more MCO. We can, follow like what South Korean did, because we have that heat map. We know combat is ready to deploy, etc. In
Right.
comparison of tested or sample tested, currently every PKD, Pusat Kesihatan Daerah, can do maximum 200 tests.
And yours
Every
can.
we can do 1,200 tests a day with only 3 personnel manning every combat, versus currently every PKD requires 20 personnel to manage one patient. And it's a series process rather than us parallel. This is, in question of innovation, our
Yeah.
people can do it. I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question, which is targeted for Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Lee, your business has extended from providing property management services to drone solutions. How do you see your services being used during the crisis?
Okay, hi all. Hi,
Yes.
Anis, Dr. Said, and Jasmine.
Yes.
You know what? Before even I want to start, the way that I look at it, Jasmine, was I was hearing like one of the KKM personnel was talking. He would like he knows he he knows about the statistics. He knows the worldwide statistics. I was like, okay, I'm watching that 5:30 Dr. Nohisham talking now. He was like that.
It's a requirement actually for us when we do design the combat. We need to understand the statistics. We need to understand the problem statement thoroughly. Right.
I mean, I really hats on of you, because I mean, you know your stuff well. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So before even I start to answer the questions, I'm Lee. We are from Meraki Services. Okay. Just to give you a background of what Meraki does, we are a facilities management company. All right. So we started way back in facilities management, and in 2017, 2016, we started to embark into digitalization and also UAV. So before this, we were using all manpower. We are using traditional method, and now we have moved into the next level of using UAV as our another turnkey solution. So
Okay.
back to Jani's question. So now, just to give you a perspective, currently we are in the essential services. Why I said we are in the essential services? I'm looking into my facilities management services, which currently does all the mechanical, electrical, penyelenggaraan. So all those stuff falls under the essential services. All right. So now, we do in-building sanitization. All right. So once we do the in-building sanitization, which is one of the requirement for all most of the buildings that had certain COVID-19 issues. All right.
Yeah.
So they will call us, and we do that. So on top of that, what we do also is, rather than only doing in-house, which requires 4 to 5 manpower uh, per floor, roughly like 14,000 square foot. All right. So they also request us to cover the whole perimeter. All right. So this is where we come in using the drone technology.
All right.
Right.
All right. So now looking into those buildings, I wouldn't want to name those buildings which are affected currently,
Yeah.
because this is quite concerned. But
Yeah.
these are the buildings that have been committed with all this COVID-19, the team members, the staff, the personnel, right? And they close up few floors. So that's where we come in and we do the sanitization activities in building. All right.
Oh,
And
mhm.
then on top of that, we move to the next level, whereby the perimeter of the building itself. So you see, if we were to do perimeter building, it's a huge area. And
Yeah.
that's where the drone facilities or drone function comes in. It is much more efficient, much more effective looking into the areas. Okay.
Okay.
Apart from that, you see, there were some debates on this sanitization activities using drone. You see, now I would like to correct the whole entire situation. There was some debate couple of weeks, whereby they were saying that why are we doing on the road? Okay, the road is not the right area because people do not go there, people do not touch the road, you know. So I think this is one good debate that we really need to look into. The places that we need to look into is are the places whereby the density of the population are there.
Yeah.
Okay, so such as like, you know, markets, all right, supermarkets. So these are the places where people are huge and surrounding areas. So these are the areas that we need to look into, not the road, not the areas that people won't go. All
Mm.
right, people won't, you see, people won't go down from a car and touch the road surface. That's impossible. No, that's not going to happen. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's not go there, and let's look into the places or areas where these things is required, such as, for me, the markets, the supermarkets, the buildings surrounding, whereby the current buildings surroundings, perimeter areas, all right, the GLCs, the MNCs buildings, all right, and the hotels, right. So those are the things that we really need to look into.
I
Okay,
guess now the hotels which have been assigned to take in
the
those who have
quarantine, yeah,
traveled, yeah, they would
yeah.
need more coverage, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where the perimeter sanitization comes into the picture. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
To my next question would be: do you think that as the world is fighting against COVID-19, that data from geolocation services can help you in fighting the disease or in getting better treatment?
Okay, this is a good question, and this is answering back what Encik Azmi was mentioning just now. So you see, from the geolocation, that's where the heat map comes into the picture. That's
Yeah.
where we would know that where is the density, where are the areas, where are the red zone areas, where are the orange zone areas, where are the green zone areas. Right, from this zone, then we will effectively take certain measures. We take the data to contain what is the population, what are the areas, what are the square areas that we need to, then we cluster it, right?
Mm.
Once we
Yeah.
cluster it, we zone into this red, green, orange areas, right? So
Mm.
let's say we put it in a way of putting red zone areas. So this is where the barbed wires, you know, like Masjid India, come into the picture. All right, so
Yep.
those are
Yep.
the things that I believe that this geolocation is a crucial initiative. It must be done, and I don't think that it should be done in a wide area. It should as small area as possible to
Mm.
ensure that we capture right up to that 1% level, not
Yeah.
10%, not 100%, not 200%, but we must go deep dive until the 1%, until we capture
Yeah.
to the last eight of the person. All right.
Yeah.
So I think these are the good initiatives that we really need to look into geolocation, and from there we evaluate the data and we do the data analyticals, and from
Yeah.
there, that's where we
Yeah.
come up with the statistics at what Jendo Azmi mentioned just now.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move back to Dr. Zayed. We're talking about the future is now, right? So service robots by Kinon Robotics Co., which is in China, they're using it in Chinese hospitals to deal with COVID-19. So these robots are, they come into your room, they deliver your food and medicines, and then they deliver goods to isolation wards so that you don't have any contact between humans, right? So what about, because you manufacture your own drones locally, what are your thoughts about manufacturing these service drones, these service robots locally as well?
I think during our childhood, we used to watch Space 1999. If you remember,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
C3PO and everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
From Star
R2D2s.
Wars. Eh,
Yes.
R2D2, helping Han Solo and everything, right? So,
Colorful young
those
days.
yeah, those days that were all dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
today, it came to us. Whether we
Mm.
like it or not, it is here today. You
Yeah.
know, I told somebody last 2 weeks on Bernama Radio about the flying drones.
Mm.
of the flying cars. People laugh
Mm.
about it. You shouldn't laugh about it.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, it is coming to you one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, somebody used to say technology is like a steamroller.
Mm.
Whether you are the steamroller or you are the road, you
Yep.
Right.
choose, right? So, it is here today. It has done the job very well. The Keenan robot you mentioned, right? I think, uh, like Jasmine was saying that before this they need 20 staff to actually man one patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am from a medical background actually. I left medical background, medical line in year 2000.
Mm.
So 20% to manage one. But I think
Yeah.
with the robot, it manages
Yes.
20 patients with one.
One.
Oh, he's disappeared.
Not,
Oh, you're back.
it's here today. And yeah,
So
if the
you
technology
will
is
look
here, I
forward
think I
to
would like
Melversense robots.
to actually manufacture this kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, Azmi already managed to do the combat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the chat group of the combat.
Oh, you are there as
What do
well.
you call that?
The design
WhatsApp
team.
group as well.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Uh, it's coming to us. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
We hope you
Yes.
can bring it to us also.
I can't hear you.
Yeah,
we hope, we hope
there's
that
some
you
network
will,
intermittence.
uh, we hope that Melversense will be able to come up with these robots soon.
Okay.
Okay, disappeared. Okay, no problem. Now we'll move back to you,
Yes.
Mr. Dorothy. So,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
AI is being used in China to fight the
Mm.
virus on all fronts.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
Alibaba's Research Institute Damo Academy has actually already developed AI-powered diagnosis systems that promises to detect new coronavirus cases via computerized tomography scans. So, using sample data from, say, 5,000 confirmed cases, the new system can actually identify the differences in CT scans between patients infected with the novel virus and
Mm.
those with ordinary viral pneumonia with an
Mm-hmm.
accuracy of up to 96%. Is
Mm.
this something that your organization is also working on?
Yeah. Thank you, Hanniz, again. Before I answer to that very specific question again,
Mm.
let me echo to what Dr. Syed is saying just before he went missing, probably being adopted by the robots. He's coming in again. You know, the first thing that Malaysia needs to do if we wanted to embrace AIs, IoTs, automated drone delivery system, as we have discussed, is first to manage the network. I
Mm.
am a telecommunication engineer. We have very, very bad network services. Our quality of service is under par. So
Mm.
unless you address these very much fundamental issues, even at video conference like this, you cannot manage to have a stable connection. How can you have an automated network of robots or automated networks of flying drones, multiple
True.
altitude? This must be first addressed. To my
Mm.
opinion, going back to the basics, I mean, I asked every CDMU, Celcom, DTMSs, and your mobile, I asked them, guys, be real. Are you sure that we can deploy 5G in the next 3 years? We have 52,800 kilometers of fibers
Mm.
operating under par, not at
Mm.
par. Your
Yeah.
4G, my 4G, is operating under quality of service. We are
Yeah.
supposed to receive minimum 36.6 Mbps, whereas we are now enjoying only 14.4. Nobody summons Celcom for that matter. We should all now lodge some summons to the
And
operator.
they're charging actually a premium price for
Exactly.
the quality that they're providing.
Exactly the point. So, the first thing to address that is get our network sorted out. That's the first, to my opinion, that's the first issue. Now, going
Okay.
back to Hani's question with regards to AI,
Yeah.
I relate back to the initiative that we are working on Combat. Combat is just, to us, is a frontliner as well, that we help the frontliner battling against COVID-19. In the background, we have a lot of back office system. One of it is, yes, we are now, these are pretty much fairly um, classified project internally within the tête-19. I can just release a very little information of this, but we are about to finalize the first prototype unit of the same equipment. We'll be able to monitor how you breathe, the first symptom, etc., from around 4.8 meters. So it's like some sort of scanners to do first, scannings of potential coronavirus patient. We are working on it now as we speak. Unfortunately, I can give you more details, but yes, we do have that capability currently under evaluation and development. We are
Because
using low frequency radio frequency deployments.
because a lot of doctors are being faced with patients who are, of course, panicking because they
Yeah,
cannot tell the difference between the normal flu and
yeah,
this virus, right? So
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess,
Let me give you an example. Just a quick example. This is 2 or 3 days back. One of our board of trustee, Dr. Anas Mat Asis, he's a frontliner operating in Pusat Perubatan Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. He was tasked to manage one patient from Tabligh cluster, the Sri Petaling Tabligh cluster. Everybody was saying, I'm not saying Tabligh is bad. I did Tabligh at one point of time as well. So but they came in, these are the group that people will never lie. They come in to you, bring the Al Quran to discuss, but they cannot describe. When Dr. Anas said, where were you for the past 14 days? Who do you contact with? Who's your contact person? Give the detail. This young man cannot tell, just refuse to tell who they are
mm,
connected with. I mean,
mm,
for whatever, probably they are worried about the safety of his other friends, etc. Whatever. These are the situation. These are the
mm.
scenario that we are currently facing. So,
They're worried about the girlfriend that they met.
well, that would be one of the cases. Yes, I can confirm about that. There is one cases in one of the roadblocks when the police asked, "Why are you out in MCO?" Oh, I can't stand it anymore. I need to see my love. So
That's so romantic.
that's why this is literally
Uh,
Shakespeare.
talking talking about that,
Doctor said yes.
can I just talking about that? I have to actually dismiss two of my staff because they went back home, kampong,
Hmm.
during this MCO. People are still not abiding to it.
They went home
So
to get
what
married.
Azmi said is correct. No, they just go home because their girlfriend are there.
That's why. That's why. No, literally. These are literally
Okay,
very
I'm gonna
true.
move on to my next question. Because it's already almost to an hour, a
Yeah.
quarter to an hour. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna try to focus on businesses, how businesses are doing. So we're going to talk about your specific business. How are you affected, and what kind of assistance or business support you expect to survive, and then later on to grow after this crisis is over. So this question is directed to the three of you. Maybe we'll start off with Dr. Syed.
Thank you for asking this question. I think this is the most challenging part for us.
Yeah.
When the government first announced their incentives for the package ransangan economy for the COVID-19, I was still like not happy about it. The second time they do it, I'm pretty
Okay.
happy.
All right.
But then again, I can see the challenges that we are facing. I have 76 staff altogether in the office right now. My overhead is about 200 over 1,000 a month. So managing this in this situation is not that easy. Being a drone company and a data company whereby we need to gather data so that we can actually deliver to our clients and claim whatever payment that we
Oops. Dr. Syed, talking about connections, right?
need to.
That's why. That's why.
So today we cannot do that.
Mm.
We are talking about that. We are left with the balance of data that we have to process from what they are doing back at home. So this is the only thing that we have that we can actually have our revenue. So
Mm.
Yeah.
come back to that. Um, I think the government has done many things, many incentive, but I the one thing that they really need to do is actually to ensure that whatever they have given or they have actually put in, especially when it comes to first and the second tier. For example, with the rental thing, they give moratorium to people who actually own the premise. But what about those people who actually renting it?
Renting it, yeah.
Yeah. Do the landlords actually transfer the moratorium to the whoever
To the
renting
leaser.
premises?
I think it was encouraged, but it was not
Enforced.
mandatory.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was not enforced.
Yeah, I know. One. Number two, we are depending on payment from clients.
Mm.
When clients cannot go to the office and do their work, do
Process.
they really embrace work at home thing? Or do they stay at home and do
Watch
something else?
Netflix.
That's the whole idea.
I think when it comes to
That's the whole
finance,
thing. No,
it's
because
a bit tricky because you're not supposed to bring back
Yeah,
PNC
yeah,
stuff.
you're right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're right. And
So
then
a
on
lot of
top of that,
payments are
I
delayed.
think it just does not involve finance alone. There are people who actually verify the work, and then after
Yeah,
that, the quantity of the work from the quantity surveyor and everything. So there's a line of people who actually have to go through to ensure that we receive our payment. So these are the
yeah,
things the challenges that we are facing. So if actually even in these 3 weeks that we are already at home, I am already feeling the heat. How am I going to maintain my staff even with the 1,500 subsidized salary?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And the
Uh,
amount, but now that the banks are giving the 0% soft loan, right? That's what they call it.
three, no, the minimum we're getting now is 3.5%. There's
I
no
think
0%.
there's no 0%. There is a new
There's
incentive.
no
I think
zero
maybe that's
percent.
10,000 only, which is nothing really, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The 0% is actually for micro, I guess. It's
Right.
10,000 below or something like that.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So
Which
that's right.
10,000
doesn't
below
even
for us
cover.
is
Yeah. Because but
yeah.
you fall under SME as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So come back to your question again. After this, what is going to happen to us?
Hmm.
Is what we are doing now. I think the same what Azmi is doing. We have to innovate. We
Hmm.
have to
Yeah,
actually go into lines that we can actually do work now
yeah,
to
yeah,
ensure that everybody has got food on their table every day.
yeah,
At
yeah,
the
So
end
it's
of the
yeah,
about
month, yeah, like
pivoting your
what we
business.
are doing. Yeah, like what we're doing today. I think the what because the line that we know that we really need to we really need that we can actually take advantage of is actually food.
yeah,
Right.
So that is why people come up with put food delivery with drones.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah,
That's innovation.
yeah,
yeah,
but the regulations are not there yet. Not it
Yeah,
won't be ready until I don't know when. I think I've heard that they're working very hard on it. Supposed to be out this year. So
Hanniz, can I
hopefully,
mention this a bit? You know what?
yeah.
When you talk about regulations, last week we got this notice from CAAM saying that we have to fulfill new rules and regulation, which actually I don't think so is helping any of the drone operators in Malaysia
yep,
today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, but
Okay.
it,
Let me chip in. Let me chip in.
all right.
Okay. Yeah.
Hot topic, hot
Because
topic.
yeah, this is a very interesting topic. But before even we go there, all right.
No
I think
bashing, yeah. No bashing.
yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. You see, as for current situation, right? I think for us, I think I mean this is my humble view. Yeah, the
Yeah,
government
yeah,
has done multiple initiatives helping various industries from micro to macro. I
yeah,
think this is something that you see this COVID-19, no one would know it will happen. Okay,
yeah,
and the initiatives taken by government, all right, till to date, I think we are better, much better than other countries managing it.
Yeah.
All right,
Agree.
uh, being a new government,
Yeah.
let's give them this credit lah. Let's give them this
Right.
credit. All right.
Yeah.
So now looking back onto the us as an all right, as an SME, I think all of us, we are not really looking into financial aspect. This is my humble view, yeah. We are not really looking into only into financial aspects. Okay,
Mhm.
what more that the government can give us is looking into opportunities. I give you for an example. All right, I mean we are working very closely with the local authorities, DBKL to name one. Okay, so we have done certain initiatives with them. Okay, and one good thing that DBKL has done is, they have come up with, during this time, they have come up with certain tenders, and they have
Mhm.
also come out with certain, I mean, to give a leeway for all these micro to
Business. Yeah.
sustain their business. So this is the opportunity that we are looking at. So we are not looking into, you just give us money so that we can sustain for short term. No, we are
Yeah.
not looking into that. We are looking into long term here. All right. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
were to give us opportunities, all right, for us to grow, that is much more better than giving us incentives and saying that, oh, we are giving you 1,000 ringgit for the next 1 month, just survive. I think
Yeah.
those are short term. We are
So
Yeah.
looking into long terms.
so you're
Those
looking
are things
at
that, yeah.
uh, for example, business leads. Is that what you're saying? Business leads, connections
Yeah.
to companies that possibly can use your service.
Yeah, I think that is one. What they can do is looking into how they can do more awareness.
Mhm.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
more awareness. Okay, I think the drone industry is not matured in Malaysia. It's not matured. We are far away from, I think, maybe 10 times far away from China. Okay, so you see, if we were to look into how COVID-19 in China versus in Malaysia, the day it was in China, right? The drone industry, even it is CSR, okay, even it is in whatever form, all right, they start flying. The
Mm.
Mhm.
opportunities were given,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
they start flying it. You see, it doesn't matter the financial aspect, okay, but more is how you evaluate, how you see. This is the time for us to see this industry, drone industry, should grow, because
Mm.
we are moving away from having human being going outside, and we are putting out robotics, we are putting out drones, all right, to the public,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, and we are breaking the chain as an immediate effect,
Mm.
rather than having more human being going to the frontliners.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
even
so
Yeah.
this is where
when it
China
comes
did it.
to, yeah, when it comes to even factories, right now we are very intensive, but actually drone solutions can come in so that the manpower can be upskilled, move on to a different kind of responsibility, and the physical aspect of the logistics of the factory or whatever can actually be taken care of by robots and drones, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
So this is the time for us to do that trial. Do
Mm,
not
Mhm.
stop us from doing that trial.
yeah.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So
Fair point.
sorry
Fair
for me
point.
being.
No, no, no.
I,
We are all in the same boat. We are all in the same boat. Totally understand.
Okay.
so
Now we'll move on to Tino Razmi.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Hanniz. Dr. Said, Mr. Lee, had been a pleasure. First off, don't worry, the regulatory, inshallah, will come out this year. You will have new CEO of CAM coming in by end of this month. So let's see where it takes us. But
Okay.
CEO coming in, PUU tak ada, it doesn't make any sense anyway. So don't know when the regulatory framework will be finalized. That's one part. I'm also, as one of my heads, we are also somehow involved in UAV as well. We partner, as Mr. Lee have rightfully said, we are
Mm-hmm.
pretty much quite, I mean, left behind against China and the other countries. For example, I partnered with a company called Baykar Makina in Turkey. They are the one building male type UCAF and hill type UCAF now currently under development.
Mm-hmm.
So they have very specific. Their government supported the regulatory based on the development, but we are the other way around.
Mm.
We follow other people's because we wanted to be just followers. But what they did in Turkey is actually the drone developer or the manufacturer or the community is the one that give directive to the government how you wanted to build the industry. That's how
Yeah.
it's being calculated. We always do things the other way around because for the past
Correct.
62 years we have been users. That's
Yeah.
one. So there must be a break of my keyword in this conclusion would be new norm, new
Yes.
normalization. It's a
Mm.
matter of how do we agilely gets into the new normalization. As Mr. Lee has rightfully indicated, and I totally understand Dr. Said's Omar situation because we, the three of us, including Hanniz, is in the same boat. We need to make sure that there's food on the table to our family and the
Yeah.
big family under the organization as well.
Yeah.
So the keyword now, as we speak, we need to embrace the new normal. So drones, yes, it's a contactless, non-human interventions in terms of delivering parcel. We are going to start our clinical trial test with Hospital UiTM along with SES
Mm-hmm.
between Subang Jaya and Hospital UiTM, inshallah, probably next week or the next 2 weeks for
Mm-hmm.
drone delivery for samples and medicals as well. And also from my other hats, I do space program.
Yeah.
We are the ones spearheading Malaysia Space 4.0 program. It's a commercialization of space upwards from 45,000 feet and above. We are a little bit lucky because we have been practicing lean management since day one. So we keep ourselves lean. We work with partners. As such, the overheads internally have been managed, carefully. Unfortunately, in our case, our key strategic partner is the Italians. So
They don't have the seats.
yeah, they were the one that hit the worst.
Yeah.
They have passes the third wave, but chances are they might come into the fourth wave. Why? I spoke with my partner in Italy a week ago. He said, "Oh brother, you don't worry, we can resume business as usual because the
Mm.
northern side and central side of Italy is okay. Those in the southern side is now problematic, Lombardy, those area. So we can go back. Our prime minister said we can go back to our villages at Easter. So,
Right.
gentlemen, my next worry when I say new normal is that this pandemic will not end in the next 3 months.
No.
It will have a circle. You will have a loop. You haven't seen the explosion in Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines yet.
Yeah.
So these are the time, as Mr. Lee has said, time to embrace the new norm is to innovate and manage new ways of managing businesses. Talking about assistance, I concur with Mr. Lee that the government have done, if you ask me, Abah have done a lot of work. I'm very sure of that. I live in Putrajaya myself. He have done a lot of work. He have done a lot of effort. Then he korek tabung everywhere else he can do to help
Mm.
us. But then again, I fully understand the other side's point of view as well. The after effects. It may
Mm.
help some cluster, but some cluster will still be left backwards or will be left behind. This is
Mm.
something that I believe the government are closely looking at and address these issues in the next coming weeks of these pandemic issues. We are all in difficult times. We are all in this together, the whole nation, the whole world. So it's a matter of us. Is Malaysia going to embark outside of this pandemic being a leader, or we still keep ourselves being a follower? That's for me. Thank you.
Thanks so much. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much again for making time to join me today. And I will of course put this up on my LinkedIn. So I will also tag everybody. So um, whoever wants to leave questions after this session, you are welcome to, and we will address them individually. All
Sure.
right. So
Thank you.
thank you and
Thank
stay
you.
safe.
Thank you
Bye.
Thank
all.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
gentlemen.
Bye.
See you.
Stay home. Stay
Bye.
home.
Call me.